Will internet usage in Pasadena be taxed? An LA County gang sweep benefits a local community and how to save on your holiday energy bills. CCN Crown City News starts right now. Hello everybody, thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. I'm Tammy Devine. Our top story, it's been a hot button issue for many in Pasadena and now it's in the courts. Measure D, what exactly is it? Is the city of Pasadena trying to put a tax on internet usage or only phone service? The story seems to be changing by the minute, and here's what Mayor Bill Bogart had to say about it during a recent taping of the government access show City Beat, where I served as host.
There is confusion because telephone service, which has been taxed under the utility users tax for over 40 years, is in some cases delivered over the internet. It's a hardwire, wireless service, and then emerging VoIP. Mm-hmm. To the extent that persons are obtaining telephone service, we'd like to continue the usage tax, the UUT, and have an obligation to apply any tax that we do have equally among users of all the same services. So there's a principle of non-discrimination under federal regulation. But there is this confusion. And
now with me now is Renee Amy, who was recently sworn in as an attorney. His first case is this one. It's a big one. He's representing the Citizens for Responsible Government, headed by local blogger Wayne Lasvardi. Renee, why did Wayne file this lawsuit?
Tammy, I think we have to make sure you understand that it wasn't Wayne who filed the lawsuit. Okay. It's actually the city clerk, Jane Rodriguez, who sued the County Board of Supervisors because they're in charge of the election. Wayne Lasvardi and Citizens for Responsible Government are parties known as, technically, real parties in interest. That means they're in there, they're part of the mix, but Mr. Lasvardi and CRG is not actually being sued by the city. What's happening, though, and this is where it all sort of ties together, is that the city says that there are false and misleading statements in the ballot rebuttal that Mr. Lasvardi submitted. And of course, we vigorously deny that and believe that this is simply an attempt by the city to quash someone who would speak against what the city is actually trying to do.
Well, they say that it is not about a tax on the internet, but some people say that it definitely is.
Yeah, and those people, it turns out, much to our surprise, and I suppose great thanks, those people who say it is a tax on the internet are actually the lawyers representing the city. In court papers filed on Friday, in a rush job, basically, they delayed almost to the very last minute in filing their lawsuit. The attorneys who represent the city, who happened by some strange chance to be exactly the same attorneys who were paid to write the measure for the city, these same attorneys say that it provides for the ability of the city to tax the internet.
Okay, so what happens now? And I got to wrap it up. I'm
sure.
Sorry,
well, in fact, wrapping it up and rushing is exactly what this is all about, because we file tomorrow, Tuesday, an answer. They file a reply on Wednesday, and then a week from today, December 17th, there'll be a court hearing on it, and the judge will make a decision. And then it goes to the printers, because that's the last possible moment.
So it's still up in the air whether it will actually be on the ballot in February.
I think we could, well, the entire measure will be on the ballot. The question at hand is whether the wording that CRG and Mr. Lasvardi would like to see that they submitted will be in there, or if the city will have its way.
Very good.
And of course, I'm saying the wording is not false or misleading. It's absolutely true and directly derived from what the city has submitted to the voters.
Well, we're going to have to keep a close eye on this. Thank you very much for coming in and giving your perspective.
Sure thing.
I really
Thank you, Tammy.
Appreciate it. A gang sweep conducted by the LA County Sheriff's Department this past week. Let's see, and we'll keep going. Oh, it may be a sign of good things to come for the city of Azusa. Lost my place there for a sec. CCN's Carmelita Mobley spoke with a member of the Azusa Gang Task Force about how the city
gang violence has plagued many San Gabriel Valley communities, causing police to increase their patrols. In Azusa, police say gang-related crime accounts for some of the violent cases in the city.
The worst crime, I mean, we have, a lot of drug-related, some gang-related crimes that we've had. Just, victim crimes where there's serious injuries to people, where, we've had assaults with deadly weapons and stuff like that.
A recent gang sweep conducted by the LA County Sheriff's Department may have some positive effects on the crime rate in the area.
I'm sure it's going to make an impact in the immediate area of San Gabriel Valley. So I don't know what the effect is here locally, but hopefully positive.
Officer John Wachowski says they have put a strong gang task force in place to help reduce gang violence throughout the city.
We have directed patrols where if we identify a crime area, we do whatever we can do to try to reduce it quickly.
Police officials of the city of Azusa say that crime has been an issue this year. However, it's been the community that has made all of the difference.
So we ask the community, they've been helpful. They call us, and we've been able to make quite a few arrests on those.
Officer Wachowski says that some of their success identifying and controlling the level of gang violence stems from one simple rule.
If you treat people with respect, they tend to treat you with respect back.
Despite issues with gangs and other criminal activities, Azusa police say overall they have a safe community.
So it's a good community, and it's a good place to be.
And Azusa police say they do plan to increase patrols to make sure the streets are safe for those out celebrating the holiday season. And now a look at some other stories this past week on CCN Crown City News that happened here in the San Gabriel Valley. First, Pasadena's All Saints Episcopal Church announces the closure of the IRS investigation into a sermon preached by former Rector George Regas just before the 2004 presidential elections. The sermon featured a debate between Jesus, President Bush, and John Kerry in which Regas blasted the war in Iraq. Now, the church says the IRS wrote them a letter in October saying the investigation was closed and that All Saints would not be fined. Still, church officials say they're calling for a review of the IRS investigation and that they plan to work with local U.S. Congressman Adam Schiff to clarify how the IRS enforces its rules and regulations. A local nonprofit held a fundraising party this past Wednesday, and they asked me to be the announcer. The Women's Council of Realtors selected 12 local businessmen to grace the pages of their 2008 calendar. The men had to do a little dance. Some decided to dance with me for extra points. In the end, those who sold the most tickets won the top 4 coveted titles of Mr. Handsome, Mr. Sexiest, Mr. Congeniality, and Best Businessman, with proceeds all going.
What we're doing is raising funds for our nonprofit organization so that we can continue to empower women next year. And as the incoming president, we need funds to be able to give the education, bring the trainers, the speakers to our programs every month. And we have a meeting every month on the first Friday of every month.
And the proceeds all go to benefit the nonprofit, the Women's Council of Realtors. Wow, it was just such a great, fun time. Thanks to everybody that asked me to participate. Had a good time. And good luck to you guys in 2008. Much more news ahead. Southern California Edison gives tips on lowering your energy bills this holiday season when we come back. You're watching CCN Crown City News. Don't go away.